There's one brutal truth that silently destroys most men. The harder you try to win her approval, the faster you lose her desire. Because in a woman's mind, neediness kills power, and power belongs to the man who doesn't beg, but makes her crave access to him. Machiavelli never studied love relationships, but he mastered this universal law. Power flows to those who control themselves first. Today, you'll discover 6 psychological rules dangerous men follow to attract women effortlessly, without chasing, without explaining, and without ever losing their throne. Because what you're about to learn can completely transform how you understand women, power, and yourself. Remember this: you don't chase power, you radiate it. And once you do, she has no choice but to orbit around you. Now let's begin. 1. Mastering the timing. The biggest mistake weak men make is always the same. They move too quickly. They rush connection. They suffocate the natural tension that creates obsession. But dangerous men understand one timeless law: attraction grows in the space between moves. Machiavelli would have put it this way: power belongs to the one who controls the clock, not the one who watches it. Let's set the scene. You're single. You meet a woman who shows immediate interest. Most men would jump in head first. They'd text her morning and night, set up date after date, over-explain their intentions to secure the connection. You do the opposite. After an amazing first meeting, you let silence breathe. You don't vanish. You stay present, but distant enough for her mind to activate. The question starts haunting her. Why isn't he pushing? Is he seeing someone else? Does he even want me as much as I want him? This invisible gap pulls her deeper. You didn't chase. You allowed space. Now picture this if you're married or in a long-term relationship. During a disagreement, emotions rise. She pushes for instant resolution, wanting to process everything immediately. You calmly hold your ground. Let's talk tomorrow. Once emotions have cooled, we'll approach it with clarity. You don't allow her emotional storm to dictate your pace. You set the frame, and your calm forces her to step into your rhythm. Here's your tactical move. Control time. Let pauses exist. Don't fear silence. Create space where her curiosity, doubts, and desires spiral, without you lifting a finger. Let this sink in. When you control the rhythm, you control the game. Now let's continue. Because most men destroy their power by revealing too much, too soon. 2. Reversing power, by making her prove her worth. Weak men spend their lives auditioning. They seek validation. They hand over their value cheaply, hoping attention will buy affection. But dangerous men flip the frame entirely. They make her earn the right to stay in his world. Machiavelli would have phrased it like this: power doesn't chase desire. Power selects who's worthy of proximity. Picture this. You're single. You meet an attractive woman. Every other man floods her with compliments. You're so beautiful. I'd do anything for you. You deserve the world. But you don't compete on that field. You don't give her default admiration. Instead, you observe her. How does she speak to people who can't benefit her? Does she bring peace or drama? Can she handle silence without panicking? You're not evaluating her looks. You're evaluating her behavior. When she tries to pull you in with flirtatious games, you respond calmly. Attraction is easy. Character is rare. Now she wonders, why isn't he chasing? Why is he making me work for his attention? What does he see that I don't? Her mind spirals toward qualification, not yours. Now imagine you're married or in a long-term relationship. During moments of unnecessary drama or emotional turbulence, she expects you to chase peace. You don't. You simply state, "When you're ready to return to calm, you'll know where to find me." You detach emotionally, not out of anger, but out of control. She senses it deeply. You will not sacrifice your peace for emotional chaos. Here's your next tactical move. Reverse the frame. Stop performing for her approval. Make her understand that access to your time, presence, and energy is earned, not given automatically. And keep this in mind. When she starts qualifying herself to you, the power has already shifted. Now let's advance. Because the next rule doesn't just shift her mind, it starts to control her obsession. 3. Mastering emotional addiction through unpredictable validation. Most men feed women constant validation, thinking it will create safety. In reality, it creates boredom, because when attention becomes predictable, her brain shuts down emotionally. What she desires is not stability of reward, it's the instability of wondering. Machiavelli would have said it like this: "The minds of men and women are governed not by what they possess, but by what they fear losing." Let's set the scene. You're single. A woman compliments you after a strong first date. "You're really different from other guys," she smiles. Most men would jump at the chance to double down. "Yeah, you're amazing too. I feel a strong connection already." But that's the road to emotional flatness. Instead, you pause. You hold eye contact. You simply reply, "That's what makes life interesting, isn't it?" No full confirmation. No total rejection. Her brain goes into overdrive. Is he into me? Why won't he validate me like others? Does he see something I don't? That space of uncertainty creates emotional investment without you ever chasing. Now picture yourself married or in a long-term relationship. Your woman plans a beautiful surprise getaway after weeks of tension. Most men, desperate to restore peace, will instantly shower her with praise. "Thank you, baby. You're the best. I'm so lucky to have you." Instead, you take your time. You enjoy the trip fully. You stay present. But you allow her to sit with that delayed gratification. 2 days after returning home, while having coffee, you calmly say, "That trip reminded me how much I value having a partner who brings balance to my mission." The delayed recognition amplifies the emotional impact tenfold, because what is rare becomes valuable. Here's your next move. Structure your rewards like rare currency. Give warmth and appreciation, but never on demand. Allow small gaps between her efforts and your validations. Make her mind constantly work for your attention, wondering when and how it will come next. Let's move forward. Because the next rule is where true psychological power gets established. 4. Developing an emotional center that governs her mind. Most men collapse under emotional pressure because they attach their identity to a woman's approval. Dangerous men don't. They stay rooted, grounded, unmoved by temporary storms. This emotional sovereignty triggers both respect and obsession, because women instinctively feel drawn to men they cannot emotionally destabilize. Machiavelli warned us, "A ruler's first conquest is always himself. Without that, all external victories crumble." Picture this. You're single. You meet a woman who subtly tests you during conversation. She brings up her ex-boyfriend, emphasizing how successful or attractive he was. Most men would either get defensive or attempt to compete. "Well, I'm different from him. I can give you what he couldn't." You do none of that. Instead, you maintain calm eye contact, slight smile, and reply, Everyone's past shapes them, but I'm only concerned with what I build now. You neither flinch nor feed her game. Her mind starts spinning. Why isn't he bothered? Why is he so stable? Does he know something I don't? Her emotional frame begins to shift around your calm. Now imagine you're in a long-term relationship or married. Family drama erupts at a holiday gathering. Relatives get heated. Your woman is emotionally charged, hoping you'll intervene emotionally. Instead, you stay fully composed, calmly saying, "We'll discuss this at home, in private." In that moment, you send a crystal-clear signal. I will not let public emotion dictate my leadership. Later, in private, you address the situation with clarity and authority. Never from reactivity, always from grounded command. Here's your mastery move. Train yourself to neutralize emotional reactivity. Every time you stay still while others panic, you raise your status. Every time you hold silence while others over-explain, you anchor deeper control. Let's continue. Because what comes next separates dangerous men from the rest entirely. 5. Crushing her tests by rejecting her emotional frames. The majority of men lose before the game starts. Why? Because they enter frames designed by women, emotional traps they can't escape once inside. Machiavelli would say, "Do not engage on ground your enemy chooses. Draw them onto ground you control." Let's set the scene. You're single. You're seeing a woman for a few weeks. Things are good. Suddenly, she drops the classic test. Where is this going? Are you really serious about us? Most men fall right into the trap. They explain, justify, promise, and negotiate their value. But you smile softly and say, "We enjoy each other. Great things evolve naturally. If something feels forced, it's not real." Now she's trapped in your frame. She starts wondering, why doesn't he feel the pressure? Why is he so confident in letting things unfold? Her mind starts working for you, not against you. Now picture yourself married or in a long-term relationship. Your wife throws hypothetical accusations. What if one day you don't prioritize me anymore? What if you get bored of us? The average man will immediately rush to reassure, "No, baby, that would never happen. You're my everything." You remain composed and respond, "I don't answer hypotheticals. We build today, and we deal with reality, not fears." You refuse to let paranoia dictate your emotional state. She feels your solid ground. She senses your leadership. Here's your strategic move. Always stay outside her frame. Lead conversations where you control the meaning, the tempo, and the emotional context. If she throws scenarios, you dissolve them with calm clarity. You lead by never defending, only defining. Let's keep going, because the final rule is where you trigger permanent emotional attachment. 6. Installing psychological dependency through strategic absence. The most dangerous men do not advertise their strength. They let the world feel it. Machiavelli would suggest, the esteem of men is won more by what they perceive than by what they are told. This principle operates on a simple law of desire. The less you give her verbal assurances, the more her mind must work to interpret your worth. And in that uncertainty, obsession is born. For the single man, you do not boast about your ambitions over dinner. You don't lecture her about your vision. Instead, she sees you, walking into the restaurant, shaking hands with important people, receiving respect from powerful circles. She observes you leading a negotiation, managing a crisis, or speaking at an event. You're not describing value. You're embodying it. Her imagination fills the silent gaps with admiration. Every unanswered question about your life becomes a source of curiosity she cannot resist. The mystery feeds the attraction. Now for the man in a relationship or marriage. You don't request permission for your moves. You don't seek validation. You expand quietly, taking risks, building alliances, increasing your holdings. She watches you navigate challenges without announcing them. New friends and collaborators enter your orbit. Decisions are made behind closed doors. Results appear unexpectedly. She's not part of every detail, but she sees the results: progress, stability, and growing influence. The absence of explanation forces her to constantly recalibrate how much she depends on you. That distance breeds psychological dependency. And finally, here's your actionable strategy. Stop over-explaining. Starve her of excessive details. Replace verbal reassurance with undeniable proof. Let her witness your discipline, your growth, your expanding territory. Every move you make should echo, "He doesn't need to convince me. He already controls the game." When she realizes she cannot fully predict or access every corner of your world, her instincts will anchor deeper into you, chasing the security and power you silently display. And now we arrive at the truth behind everything you've just learned. This is where it all leads. Not tactics, not games, but the choice every man must face. There comes a point in every man's life where the path splits. You either exist explaining yourself, or you exist commanding your world. One path is filled with noise, endless words, justifications, negotiations. The other is silent, but heavy, heavy with presence, heavy with certainty. Machiavelli would whisper, "Men are respected for their power, not for their explanations." The dangerous man doesn't compete for attention. He doesn't chase approval. He doesn't seek to be understood. He becomes gravity itself. And when gravity is strong, everything, including women, begins to orbit. Not by force, not by manipulation, but because true power doesn't ask. It attracts. These rules are not games to play with others. They are disciplines to master within yourself. Because once you become sovereign, emotionally untouchable, the world responds. She feels it. They feel it. Even those who try to resist you will feel pulled closer. This is not about romance. This is not about tactics. This is command. This is power unlocked. Now stand. Now rise. Now walk. If this opened your eyes and you're serious about becoming the man who's in full control of his life, my book is now available. The Undeniable Man, Built to be Chosen. It's a strategic guide for men who want to attract, lead, and dominate in their love life and beyond. Whether you're single or in a relationship, no fluff, no tricks, just pure, powerful strategy that will set you apart from 99% of men, and that you will actually use every day. The link is in the description. And if this video spoke to you, don't just keep your thoughts in your head. Write a comment, even just a few words. It helps you remember these lessons, and it might help someone else too. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this content, and share it with someone who, in your eyes, needs it right now. Just trust your instinct. We're all trying to get clearer, more solid inside. So let's build minds that don't break.